Hey everybody, here is the update. Today is what? Friday? Yeah, today is the update on the lawsuit from the developer to the rogue real estate people. A high-profile attorney working on behalf of properties of the villages relentlessly grilled two former top performers who are being sued by their former boss in a federal trial in Tampa. John, I think it's Laurel, known to many for his role as a Fox News legal analyst, spent hours Wednesday and Thursday in a blistering cross-examination of Christopher Day and Jason Krantz, who left Property of the Villages in 2019 to form KD Premier Realty, which is directly competing in the Villages market. The Villages is suing the pair along with former Properties of the Villages representatives Nanette Elliott, Angie Taylor, and Angela Krantz for breach of contract and violating non-compete agreements that were to last 24 months. They have all made counterclaims. Allegedly, they were treated as employees and not independent contractors, and as such are owed overtime they should have been paid. Laurel read aloud numerous emails sent by Day and Krantz to their superiors at Property of the Villages. The emails were largely gushing with praise for Vice President of Sales for the Villages, Jennifer Parr, and others, repeatedly thanking them for the opportunity to sell properties of the Villages. Krantz emails, sometimes deeply personal, thanking Parr for his daughter having the chance to serve as a captain of the Golden Girls, the performance dance team at the Villages High School, and his being made to feel like a man again. Sounds kind of weird. Krantz had lashed out in testimony against Mike Burning, the longtime Properties of the Villages executive who holds the community's broker's license. Krantz described a 7 a.m. phone call from an irate Burning when he launched the F-bomb repeatedly. That didn't square with Krantz's email in which he praised Burning as a great leader and mentor. Laurel repeatedly referred to the emails as personifying the pre-litigation Krantz and Day. He got each of them to reveal they were earning about $500,000 in commissions, usually in their final years at Property of the Villages. However, they both testified the money had come at a price. They described duties they were required to perform, including answering phones, greeting potential buyers at the sales center, trolley rides, and joining in caravans. Let me say real quick, I'm not butting in on this, and this has nothing to do with what's being said here, but it kind of does. That sales center has a problem. They have a tendency when you go in there, and if you say something, and if they know who you're talking about, it depends on how that person fits in with the Village's idea of things, and they'll tell you stuff. Then they shouldn't be telling anybody anything. If somebody comes into the sales office to see about buying a home, it doesn't make any difference to me why they're there, how they got there, who sent them, whether you like them or don't like them. If they're sitting there, maybe going to write a check out for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, you should just smile and say welcome and keep your opinions to yourself at all of the sales centers. Both also admitted that as their careers blossomed at Property of the Villages, they were able to shed those duties. They said the many hours they worked robbed them of time they could have spent with their families. Laurel accused Day of basking in the glow of the Properties of the Villages brand when it suited his new business venture. Laurel showed an image to the two salesmen together as it first appeared in the Properties of the Villages campaign. Laurel claimed that Day photoshopped the same image as part of a promotion of his fledgling company. The attorney pointed to the post mined from Day's Facebook page, a day of Day bragging about the day. The attorney pointed to the post mined from Day's Facebook page of Day bragging about the Day Drive street sign in the village of Antrim Dales. The street was named for his honor during the heady days of his career with Properties of the Villages. During the course of his testimony, Day acknowledged he is a millionaire and owns several investment properties in the Villages. And it was all made possible because of opportunities given to you by Property of the Villages. Isn't that right? Laurel asked. Day did not agree. He said he made his fortune by his own hand. Laurel dragged out an old email documented related to Day's previous previous employment as a sales associate with AT&T. Laurel said the email indicated that Day lost his job with AT&T because he had been less than honest. Day came to the Villages without a job and took a $50,000 draw from property of the Villages during his 12-month training period. He turned the same tactics on Krantz during the cross-examination Thursday afternoon. Several times Laurel alluded to a bankruptcy in Krantz's past, prompting him finally to admit he had owned 9 houses in Minnesota at a time when the real estate market took a deep dive. Laurel also accused Krantz of failing to mention a past criminal conviction during the time he was seeking employment with property of the Villages. He dismissed it as a technical matter over the rental house sticker and said, I didn't disclose it because I didn't think it was a crime. Day and Krantz told similar stories about forming the elite sales team in an effort to make more money for themselves, their associates, and property of the Villages. But the team came crashing down when they placed an advertisement prominently featuring their faces and phone number in the Villages Daily Sun. Remember I told you the Villages Daily Sun is owned by the developer, and they'll decide what goes in or doesn't go in that paper. It's not an open paper for anybody to go in there and just pay money and put any kind of advertisement they want. I could prove that because I called about putting an advertisement in there for me, and they told me no. Krantz recalled being called into Parr's office when the ad was published. Hey, look at this ad, Parr reportedly told him. She picked up the phone and called the Elite number, which appeared in the ad. Elite, she asked, is everybody else a piece of explanative? She's cussing. Is everybody else a piece of Grant said, I taught him a valuable lesson. I always tried to fly under the radar after that. But when passed, both Day and Krantz admitted that they had cared about Parr and had believed she cared about them and their families. That prompted a question from Laurel. But when you left to start KD Realty, you didn't have the decency or integrity to say goodbye to her? He asked. People don't care about nothing but themselves. They really don't. On the day of their departure on December 16, 2019, Day and Krantz now infamously sent an email to all of their colleagues at Property of the Villages announcing they were leaving. Parr was on the distribution list. Parr testified on the first day of the trial and has been in the hallway of the 17th floor of the federal courthouse every day this week. She cannot be readmitted to the courtroom unless she is called to testify again. That could take place on Good Friday as the trial is scheduled to wrap up. Well, I believe that's it. It's lunchtime. Cheers. Cheers to you, Deb. What do you think? You tell me. I see both sides of this case. I see what's going on. I hear what's going on, this, that, back and forth. I don't know. They both got an argument. I still say the bottom line on this thing is we don't care about a guy's bankruptcy from who knows 20 years ago. I think that's just irrelevant. We don't care about whether somebody said the F word or not, or S word or whatever she said in there. Who cares? I mean, sometimes in business, things happen. Thing is, I think it's all about me. It's all going to be about those confidentiality papers that everybody supposedly signed, no compete clauses that everybody supposedly signed. Were they treated like employees? I've heard this before from other people that I know that work down there, that I know personally and have talked to personally and still do, that are telling me that everything that they're saying about that down there is absolutely true. They are told you will keep your car. It is inspected. You will drive people around. You will take care of the people in the lifestyle place over there. And none of that is being paid for. Now, this is what I'm told. None of that is being paid for. It's just something they do for the privilege of selling homes, new homes in Property of the Villages. And if that's true, then that needs to be addressed real quick, because that's just not fair. It's just not right. That's taking advantage. That's just the way I'm seeing it. But I'm sure there's more to this story than what I know. It should be, because why should I know everything? I should not. And you should not. Nobody needs to know any of this except who's in that courtroom. And that way they'll get a fair trial. What's interesting also to me is to find out, now that he's in Tampa and he don't have any political connections really down there, I don't think, unless he goes through the back door to do it, like he does in Wildwood. He goes in Wildwood and he snaps his finger and tells them, I want this and I want that. Those people down there bend over backwards to figure out how we get this done. And that's really what's going on. This is a good old boy system in Sumter County area here. We'll see. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? How you leaning? Right now, truthfully, I'm kind of in the middle. I kind of see both sides of it. And my way I'm seeing this is going to turn out is that Krantz, and I don't know if they got a countersuit going here or not, but those guys are probably going to be told to cease and desist. You can own the company. I'm just talking for me. You can own the company, but you can't personally sell houses, which means for the next however long they got to wait, 2 years or whatever it was from the day they left, they're going to have to hire people to sell houses for them. And I think that might be going through the back door a little bit. I don't know, but I think maybe that could be done. But the rest of the lawsuits, I feel like, are going to be dismissed. But I haven't really heard anything really about the Villages people suing for dollars and cents. Have you? I mean, they're just talking about that you breached this contract. Well, let's say they say, okay, you did. I haven't heard anything about monetary settlements, or I don't know. This may not be over for a long time. But for right now, I'm kind of down the road. I see both sides of it here, and I don't see a clear winner yet unless they can prove that the no compete clause did exist and they broke it. Then I can see the Villages real estate company walking away and winning that case. So with that being said, let me get out of here, edit this together real quick and get it up and going, and hope you enjoy the updates. But I'm going to keep doing them until we get to the end of this thing. So hopefully you enjoy it. Have a good day. See you all on the other side.
What do I believe? What makes me feel it to write you this song? 2 hours a day, 5 months and a year. Oh, I loved you too long.